Hey! Today we're going to talk about why you do what you do, why I do what I do, why we all do what we do. It's an interesting question, right? It's an interesting thought. Isn't that kind of like a massive major question society is constantly trying to figure out? What makes a rich person rich? What makes a poor person poor? What makes a athletic person athletic? What makes a fat person fat? What makes a healthy person healthy, an unhealthy person unhealthy? What makes us do these things? Because looking at each other, we're like, all right, I want to be healthy. We have a general idea of what health is, but for some reason, myself included, you just have trouble making the decisions and doing the things that create health, right? Or we might not even know. I'm assuming that we know that, yes, eating vegetables and fruits and drinking a lot of water and exercising are basically the essentials to being healthy, right? And thinking good thoughts and expressing love and gratitude, to feeling healthy, to being mentally, spiritually healthy. I'm assuming most of us have at least heard that, I don't know, a few thousand times in our lives, all these things. So why don't we do it? Why do so many of us struggle with it, myself included? Why do so many of us struggle with it? Let's go all the way back to when you were born. When we're born, do you remember being born? I don't think anybody does. In reality, the first thing that I can remember, I think I was maybe 2 or 3. I think I have some memories floating around in here somewhere. But let's go to science. So you're born. Science has shown us that all the way up to age 7, the brain waves of a child are in a state, a wavelength, a frequency, referred to as theta. That just has to do with the frequency of the wavelengths, but it has to do with the fact that theta is associated with hypnosis. So in reality, you, me, everybody was basically in hypnosis till we were like 7 years old, give or take a little bit. And what do you know about hypnosis? People use hypnosis to quit smoking and get them to do things. That's basically what we know of hypnosis, right? At least a very, very, very basic explanation of it. But since we're in hypnosis until we're 7, we're in the state of theta. Stay with me. This is important, I swear. You're going to find this very valuable. And I'm going to show you how to, I'm going to tell you at least, how to get out of your own way on some things and how to be healthier, stuff like that. If you want to be healthier, whatever you want to do, how to move in that direction. So we're going to get to that in a second, but stay with me because it's important to understand this. Now, a child's in theta, they're in hypnosis, so what are they doing? They're just absorbing all the things people around them are doing. They're just watching, they're observing in a very hypnotic state. There's not really much judgment. These things that they're seeing, these things they hear adults say, other kids say, everyone say, just goes right into their subconscious mind. And basically, your subconscious mind is why you do what you do. Because it accounts for at least 95% of the things you do on a daily basis. Very little of what we do is actually conscious thought, because that's creativity and it can be more challenging. Subconscious is running the show. It's running your organs, it's making your heart beat, it's doing all this stuff that you don't think about, you literally don't think about. So up until the age of 7, you're just absorbing these things. So, if your family didn't make much money, and they complained about money problems all the time, odds are you have that programming in your subconscious mind that you absorbed when you were in theta state hypnosis up until age 7. And now with that being said, we can reprogram our subconscious mind. It's not as easy as being 7 or younger, because it just goes right in, because there's no resistance, no skepticism, no thoughts about it. It just goes in, and you start doing it. And then that's why all these years later, there are things that come easy to you. You know, maybe it's easy to piss somebody off. Maybe it's easy to run a marathon. Maybe it's hard to earn above a certain amount of money. Maybe it's hard to get yourself not to pig out right before you go to bed. Maybe it's hard for you to get up in the morning. Maybe it's easy for you to jump out of an airplane and skydive and do extreme sports stuff. I don't know. The list of easy to do, hard to do, easy to do, challenging to do is infinite in both directions for every person. So, well, not every person, but as a whole, there's no limit to what can be easy, what can be hard, okay? Not the point. So that's why you do what you do for the most part, is because when you were young, you just absorbed the things and took on the traits and qualities and thoughts and belief systems of the people you encountered. You didn't need to necessarily encounter them, you know, all 7 years. You could be doing something in your life because of some person you don't even know you met one time, and they said something that just went right in, and now you're doing it, you don't even know why. I wouldn't encourage you to discover the why. Even though I said, hey, would you like to know why you do what you do? Well, I just told you why. You don't need to keep digging, I promise, because it's paying attention to the thing you don't want. Oh, you said you spend years trying to figure out, oh, this person said this thing to me, that's why I do this, great. It doesn't really change anything. So the real thing you want is change. You want to have different results in your life. You may want to be healthier, you may want a 6-pack abs, you may want your soulmate, you may want to make more money. These are the most common things people go about. I mean, typically everything people want revolves around health, wealth, and love. It's basically the 3 things people want. So how do you get them? Now, I'm saying this with you. I'm not saying it's easy. I have my own challenges, but I'm sharing this information with you, okay? And it is legit. It is legit. It is solid stuff. It will work if you work it. I'm not going to say it's easy, because you have this subconscious programming, these habits already in you, and they will fight you because they want to exist. They've been here for so long. Your body is programmed. You have very strong wiring inside of you for these things. So it takes time and effort. That's how you change the programming. That's how you get different results in your life, is you consciously use that conscious part of your mind to make different choices and ignore all the different doubts and worries and fears and thoughts that stop you from doing the thing that is on the way to where you want to go, to the result that you want. And I'm not trying to be some motivational speaker here. I'm just sharing with you the facts, the science, the truth. Do it, wonderful. Don't do it, fine. But at least you can stop beating yourself up, because you know this. You know this now. Watch this video again if you want. So if you want to be, more physically fit, yeah, you're going to have to work out and eat less. No surprise. You're just going to have to realize now, what's helpful is to realize that, listen, you're not some failure. You're not some bum. You're not some piece of crap loser. You have strong programming in your mind that came from somewhere, doesn't really matter where, that leads you to have challenges with accomplishing, say, being physically fit. You have challenges in your subconscious mind, which is basically running the show. So you have to be more conscious and basically make yourself do it. But what's beautiful is it's not like that forever. As you do it, You will kind of climb hurdles. It's kind of like going up a ladder, going up steps, climbing a building, climbing a mountain. You know, after a while, it just becomes natural and easy, and there's not any resistance, and you change the program, and you change who you are. Yes, you're a human being, but you know what? You're a lot more like a computer than you may think. Because computers, technology, they really are just doing their best to replicate reality. You're like a biological computer. But you're also the consciousness, they're aware of it, and you can change it. You can reprogram it, but it takes some effort and some time. Sometimes if it's really emotional, then you can change the programming like that. If it's a strong enough piece of code. I'll give you an example. I grew up in South Dakota. My grandpa, my grandma, they were all farmers and ranchers, and lots of my friends' families are farmers and ranchers. My uncle's a farmer and rancher. I grew up eating a lot of animal products, and I'm a vegan now. And with that being said, I loved those animal products. They taste delicious. Absolutely, they taste delicious. I'm not going to take that away. Granted, do they really, or is it just what I was used to eating? But, you know, my two favorite meals were steak and potato and hamburger and fries. Those are my two favorite meals. They were. And then one day, my partner showed me a video, and it showed some realities of where this thing we call, say, meat comes from, which is really, you know, it's dead animal flesh. And we all know that, but it doesn't seem to bother us so much. But I was really watching it, and I realized, wait a minute, this looks awful. I mean, showing insides of slaughterhouses and stuff like that, it's very emotional. And I realized, wait a minute, this is all happening because I buy this stuff, not just me, I mean all of us, because we buy it. We are participating in the system. And that's the thought that hit me, and I was emotional, and I saw this, and I'm like, wait a minute, I am not going to be a part of this anymore. And as strange as that might sound, if you'd said this to me 10 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, I get it, you know, but for some reason, it just emotionally hit me and went right into my subconscious, and I have not knowingly had an animal product since, and it's been, geez, coming on 3 years now, and I don't miss it, because you just adapt, and you learn new ways of making things. Yeah, my old thought was, all right, I just eat raw broccoli, or a baked potato, or a banana. That's not true. It's unbelievable what you can do with vegetables and oils and vegetable oils and fruits and stuff like that. It's crazy. Like, I don't miss it at all. I eat better and healthier, and it's tastier. But anyways, no, I'm not going to go on that tangent. But that's just an example. It's an example I have of how emotion can just change the coding like that. If it's right, if it's strong enough, it just goes right in. Now, I don't know how exactly to do that. I wish I could just help you with that, help myself with that. You know, like, all right, we're going to be billionaires. Boom. You know, something strong like that to just change the programming. I don't know. Or, I'm not afraid that I'm now excited to talk to people. You know, because you can be afraid to say, just call somebody up and talk to a stranger. That's terrifying for some people. Or go ask someone out on a date. If I knew how to just emotionally just do it, I do have some methods for it. It's one thing that I would give you is, if you can give yourself the decision to do it, think about what you want. The result, you know, I want to be, and get descriptive about it. I want to be physically fit. I want to be this weight. I want to have 6-pack abs. I want to be able to bench press this much. I want to be able to, wear this size pant, whatever. Write it down. It's cool. It's fantasizing about what you want. That's great. And then what you do is you write down more benefits than you can think of to getting that. And I literally mean more than you can think of. Because what will happen is you'll come up with, some people really don't even try and they write down like 5 things, Some will get a dozen, some will get 50, and rarely does someone get past 50 without, with it. Let me back it up. If someone gets to like 50 benefits of getting this thing, of getting this result, it won't do much to move the needle. Because typically we can probably come up with 50 things without having to exert enough effort and imagination and dig deep enough. But if you can write down like literally 200 reasons why, in this case, getting healthier, having 6-pack abs, having this certain size weight, bench pressing this much, whatever you wrote down that you wanted, if you can write 200 reasons, I promise you, things will change for you quickly. And you may not notice it immediately, but they will. Like, it'll change. Because what you'll do, like I said, after you get past about 50, your mind, your nervous system, your brain, your energy, you will be changing. Because you'll be thinking about things you've literally never thought of. Or they're in there and you've dug so deep now that once you see them, you just can't be the same. For instance, when I saw what was really going on in the slaughterhouse, I can't unsee that. And it just was a big bomb and just dropped on me. As obvious as it seems, what's going on in the slaughterhouse. Have you really ever thought about that? I hadn't really ever thought about that. And then I saw it. Changed me immediately. Now, that doesn't happen to me many times in my life at all. But if you can write down 200 things, I promise you will be different. Just do it. If you really want to, you're 200 reasons away from getting what you want. I should probably stop this video now, because I think I've said a lot. Feel free to watch it again, share it with someone. Share it with someone that may be able to use it. It's not a person alive, ever. Past, currently, future, they can't use this information. Because it's explaining the very operating system of why we do what we do and how to change it. I could talk on this for a whole weekend, probably, and get into some real deep specifics and have a nice conversation with people and work with people individually to help, because each person's a little bit different. And one little block can stop you from moving. If you don't know how to get around it or bust it down or replace it. I'm gonna stop. I'm a bit of a rambler. You're awesome. Have a good evening. Talk to you later.